Biographer's note. To those who might find this work, I ask only you remember that we lived, and the world was once just as real and immediate for us as it is for you now. Here are whispers from down the vistas of history. Know the mirror, know the mirror, know the mirror. Ursula II, Gerhard University, Gerhard, 8/9 Bivnik. 1. Many maintain that the best conjuring illusions are the ones we never discover the trick behind. They are remarkable, certainly. More incredible, though, are those illusions we discover the trick behind, and come to find the trick even more enchanting than the illusion itself. Such is the world. Welcome. Excerpts from the Metaphysical Sutras of Lord Anaximander. 1. The only noble desire is for the end of desire. Few are brave enough to admit this. Look to the ancient battlefields, to the corpses fallen by sword, by musket, by theta beam. Did the generals who prevailed in those battles take their spoils and retire to some mountain hut and live the remainder of their days in the quiet shade? For sure not. They made more war. Look to the ancient heavens, full of starships and space bending, whole solar systems repurposed as divine machinery. Did the engineers who birthed those miracles watch matter itself roll over and beg for mercy and concede they had done enough? For sure not. They built more machines. So too with the poet who wants only for the perfect line, apprehends it, and is more miserable than ever. So too with the great master who levitates over the black oceans only to reach the coast and turn back around to do it once more. So too with the drunk who swears off drinking by morning and is found rattled again then by lunch. The only noble desire is for the end of desire. Few are brave enough to admit this. 2. We begin at the end of history. There to the east of the galaxy lay the dreaming worlds, where folk meditated all day on perfect compassion. There, to the west of the galaxy, lay the rational worlds, the homes of science and geometry. To the north, the metacluster, where no one died nor fled from life. To the south, the moons of bliss. And yet further, to the suburbs of heaven, an old yellow star, around which span an old blue-green world. Upon that old world, atop a towering mountain, lay the temple of venerable Lord Mriga. The temple appeared a great and upturned sparkling chandelier, and its 1,000 crystal spires were high enough to kiss the shallows of space. At the tip of each spire sat a Deva master upon a prayer mat, cows and horses, wasps and squid, all robed in holy blue cloth, with holy blue dye upon their foreheads, their eyes closed, their minds turned inwards on the eternal jewel of eyes. The festival of Shangha had begun. Scholars and masters from all across the Devon Union were invited to the temple to participate in the festival of Shangha and share their insights on the quest to attain Nibbana. Over the course of the week, Devas from distant worlds would be seen arriving in the air in gilded carriages pulled by gilded beasts. It was just after dawn when from the air stepped venerable Lady Ursula, the great Devon physicist. She presented as a brown bear and sported a spherical floating machine called a spile at her side. Masters and initiates alike prostrated before Ursula, muttering holy chants. Seers and scholars alike levitated above her, crying thanks to Anaximander for her safe passage across space. Ursula shifted from foot to foot, said, "Okay, yes, thanks." She spent several hours wandering aimlessly about the grounds of the temple. Being not only one of the founders of the Great Devon Union, but also famous for her work in the dimensional sciences, many academics began to approach Ursula to tell of their own accomplishments. A metaphysician reported that the sentient matter project was but a century from completion. A musician reported that the 3 chords of perfect compassion had been isolated, and he was constructing a great machine by which to broadcast them across the galaxy for the rest of time. An artist reported that Ursula was very beautiful, and would she like to discuss aesthetic matters together in private? Ursula politely declined and went looking for a spot to drink alone. 3. Ursula was summoned by parchment to Lord Mriga's greeting chamber. She attended with Madeline, her spile. The greeting chamber was bare save for a floor table, cushions, and a golden effigy of Lord Anaximander. He was depicted in his youth, sat in full lotus position, peacefully gazing to his meta-yes above. Ursula stood at Lord Mriga's balcony a long while watching the forest. It extended almost to the horizon. Wisps of smoke were just visible beyond, no doubt from a native village. She turned about to find Lord Mriga had materialized. He presented as a tall, nimble deer. His irises were hexagonal and perfectly black. His antlers were draped in many silver chains and loops of silk, and his robe was the typical Devon blue, though speckled at the hem with golden embroidery. They bowed to one another. "My lady," Mriga said, "it has been too long." 10 centuries, thanks to you, Ursula thought. "My lord, greetings." Mriga produced a holy necklace from his robe to commemorate the opening of the festival of Shangha, bearing the thing in his mouth. Ursula took the necklace ceremoniously and put it on her furry head. They both sat in full lotus at the floor table. Nodding to Madeline the spile, Mriga said, "Does that belong to you?" "She's my companion, yes." Madeline glowed the greeting color of orange and span joyously clockwise. Mriga said, "On this world, spiles are wild, considered among the rank of animals. Lower, sometimes." Ursula whispered to Madeline, "I'm sorry, darling. Do you think you could leave us alone for a little while?" Madeline glowed blue in affirmative and exited out the window. Mriga bowed once again. "My lady, your attendance at the festival is a great honor. Was the journey arduous?" "Not at all. It was necessary to stop every few days on stepping stone planets, of course. A pleasure to see the Devon Union properly, after so many years at my desk on Gearhart." "Sublime. And what do you make of my world?" "My world," Ursula echoed in her mind. The cheek. She said, "Bountiful in the extreme, and your palace is fit for Lord Anaximander himself." Coyly she added, "I noticed smoke on the horizon. Do natives live on your world also?" "Many thousands, yes. They assist us with the production of the holy flower. Do you keep natives on Gearhart?" "Not so much keep, my lord. Many of them are scholars at my university, friends also." Mriga blinked his onyx eyes, ignored this. "What news is there from Gearhart University?" "Our metaphysicians have been making excellent progress in geometry. A number of old paradoxes are resolved. Our theoreticians have made fine strides in dimensional physics." "And what of Gearhart's spiritual progress?" Careful, Ursula thought. "My lord, you know Gearhart is not a terribly spiritual place, I'm afraid." A long pause, then Mriga murmured, "So I am told. Well, perhaps that can be balanced against your scientific prowess. Is it still your intention to provide us with an overview of your academic work at the opening of the festival today?" "Anaximander willing, yes, my lord." "Very well. I trust the talk will not touch on your old conspiracy theories." "Tread gently, Bear." "I am not sure what you mean, my lord." "Perhaps you might give me a small summary of your work now, in advance." It is a little technical and dull." Murga said formally. All speakers are expected to brief me on the nature of their work prior to their Shanghai lectures. There are no exceptions. We will conduct this discussion further in Vex speech. I know you and your Gerhard colleagues prefer the primitive tongue, but I find it rather limiting with regards to abstract matters. Before Ursula could protest, Mrigga struck a ceremony bell with his antlers. Initiates entered bearing urns. From the urns plumed the purple smoke of the holy Devon flower, moksha. The initiates circled the two masters until the moksha smoke was so thick one could only see a few feet ahead. Ursula and Mrigga breathed in deeply through their mouths, exhaled through their noses, repeating over and over the primary chant of being. Emma, Emma, Emma. 50 repetitions and they slouched, their high minds full of moksha. They had transcended the three-dimensional realm of samsara and entered mentally into that four-dimensional space, Vex. New grammar was available. Madam, came Lord Mrigga's Vex tones, his voice originating from behind and ahead. An honor to have you here, this location, but necessary admonishment follows. I, a high lord, you, a scholar. Pay me deference due. Yes, my lord, Ursula intoned. Yes, my lord. I pay deference due to you. The festival talks begin in but a few hours, Mrigga said. They will take place in the golden atrium. I host this festival, and I am the master of this world. Deference due. I desire assurance that you will not be peddling your aberrant brand of cynicism inside my temple. Please outline the proposal of your talk. Very well, sir, Ursula said. Though I simplify. I have worked with the great mathematician Lord Lepus for many centuries at Gerhard University. Our query was one of what would happen if the Devon Union continues to push into the galaxy, colonizing worlds at its current rate, based on our recent calculations. Madam, Mrigga said, unconcealed irritation. You have been disinvited from the festival for the last 1,000 years on account of the very madness you preach at me now. You assured me in writing you would not be presenting unfounded hypotheses if you were invited once again. Just a moment, my lord, Ursula said. Attempt to appear objective, for I am being objective. Please just hear the full shape of the thesis before you dismiss it. Based on even our most liberal calculations, all primary galactic resources will be depleted inside of 1,000 years if we continue spreading across the galaxy as we are now. This depletion constant is likely built into any expanding civilization. Lord Lepus and I call it the Bivnik effect. Sincere suggestion. We believe the people of the Devon Union should be made aware of the pressing nature of this thing. So far we have largely been ignored by the Golden Council, and by yourself, of course. For good reason, Mrigga said. Rhetorical inquiry. You wish to scare our guests? The festival of Shanghai is held in honor of the enlightenment of the Golden One Anaximander, to discuss how we might follow him to Nibbana. This is no place to monger fear. My lord, Ursula said, there will be no reaching Nibbana if the Devon Union collapses. My lady, Mrigga said, here we strive for transcendence, not regression. You were invited with the explicit request of talking on the development of Jnana Moksha. That is what our Devon brothers and sisters wish to hear. Ursula said, I understand, however, our Bivnik calculations are conclusive, even indisputable, if I may say so. For I do say so, for I did, just then, in the moment trailing yet unattainably close behind us now, as moments always do. Mrigga's eyes grew wide and high and expanded along the fourth-dimensional axis. He towered over Ursula, his presence now set within a fury of bent light and fractal echoes. he said. Madame, there is data for proving many things, and I am no stranger to the Bivnik effect, as you call it. I am learned, more learned than you in all areas of inquiry that matter. I am fully aware of the approaching calamity. Do you think me so stupid? But you do not consider the social implications of your actions. You never have. All you will achieve is to frighten the herd. Ursula said, Herd, my lord? Mrga said, Herd, madame. So I say in this place of knowing where there is only truth and sentimental things have washed off us like water on dry dirt long ago. There is a galactic resource crisis approaching. I do not doubt this. But it will not be solved with your petty scare myths. We must innovate our way out with technology, with power, with jnana moksha. Ursula said, Technology? What technology could stand up to greed? The Gerhard data are data. We must moderate, no good or evil about it. My lord, I am a scientist. I am not here to scare or... Mrga put up a hoof for silence. His eyes grew somehow blacker, anti-light, absolute nothing. He said, And I am a philosopher, and I am the warden of this world, and I am a vital, indispensable icon of the Devon faith, clothed in immense wisdom and potency. I demand that you do not scare our guests at the festival. Jnana Moksha is the only solution to this crisis. Today you will talk on Jnana Moksha and nothing else. They returned to Samsara, to three-dimensional space. Lord Mrga struck the ceremony bell again. 2 serving tigers entered bearing plates upon their backs, delivered the plates to the table, and exited silently. The meals were identical purple fillets of meat. A delicacy of my world, Mrga said. Moksha-infused beef. Come, let us fill our bellies and celebrate your honored visit to the festival. Ursula twiddled a clump of her fur. Apologies, my lord, but I follow the vegetarian precept. For this, I recommend you make an exception. There is no meat finer in the Union. Its consumption will confer spiritual qualities, I guarantee. Mrga began on his plate, snarling, gnashing, blood squirting from the meat and leaving red spots about the floor. Ursula examined her portion. The flesh was fresh, and, judging by its texture, of livestock not more than a few years old.